Well, good morning, folks. Top of the morning to you. The red oak saga begins. This is one of the logs that I got down from the big oak tree that fell up in the woods. And you will have seen by this point some of the tree as I got working on cutting it up. So here's kind of a few logs I got here to the mill. I do have 2 more logs up in the woods that are cut, and those are going to be firewood most likely. There's a third one that's underneath it a little bit that I need to pull out. I think it'll pull out pretty easy. And then here's the ones I got here so far. That one will be kind of interesting with all the broke off and healed over branches. It will either be good looking or maybe weak. It's hard to say, but you can see how the tree started to die on the outside. And there is one more section of the tree that I did not take yet that well, it was the side that died. It had died a couple years back and was dying, so it's a little more punky. But I think based on one of the logs I cut that will be okay with, by the time I slab it and get to the cant, we'll be okay. So I'm gonna take a few cuts off of this real quick just so we can all see the pretty wood that I'm working my butt off to get this tree. To get up to the tree is a good 35% grade at least, and it's on a slight lean. So you're going up, you get to the top, it kind of straightens out a little bit. So the only way I can really get down using having the log on the forks is to back down, which is not horrible. It's only probably, 70 yards or so. So let's go ahead and slice into this, get a few boards off of it, take a peek at it, warm the tractor up, warm the mill up, and then we got rain supposedly coming from like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is fine. I got plenty of shop work to do, but I want to get up and get as much of this tree down. I have a staging area just across the creek there, down by the rental property, where I stage logs. So I can, a lot of times I'll log them and get them out and stage them there, and then when I'm ready to take them cut them on the mill, I bring them up here because I got limited space. So you'll see all that in a bit. So let's get to cutting this log right here. I mean, the redwood is absolutely beautiful, so let's just see what's in there. Okay, now we are still using that Timber Dog. I got the hat on he sent me, blade, but it has cut a lot of logs, so we'll see how good it does. Redwood's a little red oak is a little bit softer, so I may be able to get some cutting done with it. I don't want to over abuse the blade when it starts getting dull, because it just makes for a lot harder job to sharpen it. There's no sense in doing that. So it's the Timber Dog 7-degree blade I got from Jerry's Resharp. So I haven't got the 4 degrees yet in some of the other ones, but hopefully they'll come soon and we'll be able to get on that monster pecan log. You've probably seen it as I walk by. It's big, it's huge. Looks like my blade tensioner is acting up again. You have to take 2 screws off. It takes transmission fluid. I don't see anywhere it's leaking, but it keeps just getting worse and worse. So there must be something internally that it's bypassing. So I guess we'll be rebuilding that with some seals here soon. Doesn't look that complicated. Alright, let me see if I can get its attention up some. What happens is it keeps losing, and then I can't tension it because I can only go in so far with the tensioner. as the blade stretches, and I'm right at the end of that. So I'm gonna put my gloves on. I got a few cuts that hurt a little bit. Bring it on forward. Yeah, blade tension's way down. That belt, or that blade has stretched quite a bit. Probably could keep going if my blade tensioner wasn't acting up a little bit, but it was doing pretty good at first. So like I say, the blade is stretching. You don't want to stretch them too far, push them too far. They start getting like that, and you just need to go ahead and change them so that you can resharpen them and they're not overly stretched. But let's blow this off here, take a peek at it. I'm not going to take these, I'm not ready to take those off right yet. I did kind of pull my shoulder a little bit over the, I guess it was late Friday when I was taking this thing out of the woods. So I was running those big chainsaws. I can run them, but my shoulder lets me know it ain't happy with it. So at least we got a peek of what's going on here. Set that on the box. So there's how pretty those are, and you can see it started getting a little bit of death in this one, but this is one of the better sections here. We haven't, I got to get some of the sections that are a little bit older, but they're actually holding the main trunk up in a precarious way. So I've got to be really careful how I cut it down because it's going to roll. So let's go up there. I got one log already stationed down at the little mill area, or the little staging area, sorry, mill area. It's a Monday morning. There's my hardwood slab pile, and then way back there is all the regular wood, which I try to get rid of and sell, or I give it away to some people. So let's go get some more of that tree and see what I can get into this morning. All right, back up the hill we go. You'll see I got some of the tree cut off, and I did get that one dangerous log section cut that was broke and just hanging there. So we'll get up here this morning. There's a log that's kind of crooked up under there. I want to pull that out. It's broke off. I want to get that out from underneath it, so when I cut the other section, it can go all the way down to the ground. It's going to roll to the right, but if I'm careful, we should be okay. We cut that one crooked piece there. Cut that piece right there off, and the tree should start setting down. But what I'm going to do, I think I can pull that out from underneath it. So that'll be the first order of business. And those big sections, I mean, to split them up for firewood would even be a pain because it's the front section. So I'm not thinking I'm going to do a lot with that upper section there. I do have a friend that's a logger. He's got a Whiteout LT40, but his motor had gone on it. So I don't know if he got it fixed yet or not, but now see that big section right there would be a good candidate for a Whitehead with that crotch, because I'm going to cut it off right on that side. So that'd be one heck of a log there. If anybody out there has got an LT40 or something, I mean, you welcome to the tree. Just maybe give me a board or so out of each section or whatever. You could have the rest of that, but I could cut it for you and we could get it down and get it loaded, but you're just gonna have to reach out to me and let me know. But my main goal today is get these logs out of here. I got a few more there, and there's probably a saw log in there, but you see how that section had died more. So it's just it may be firewood, it may be, I'm sure there's some wood in there, not a whole lot, but that crooked section will be firewood, that section will be firewood. I got a lot of firewood down here, so let's get to cutting. Let's see if we can get this thing at least down on the ground, or I can get those pieces out of here, because I'm up on this hill. It's supposed to rain later this week, and well, I don't want to be trying to come up and down this hill when it's all wet and muddy. So hung up on something over here. I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of cutting. I think there's a few fibers still holding it. So let me warm up the saw and we'll get some of the stuff out of the way and get that out of there. Got the Husqvarna today, the 460 Rancher here. Get that thing out of there. Choke it, let it roll.
and it split when it fell. Oh, that big other top on it. Made a heck of a mess of it. It's all firewood.
Right here anyways. Alright, let's see if we can get it to loosen up here and come out of there. Let's see what we can do. I don't have a camera mount, so I'm using a log mount. That's one piece out of there. That'd be a nice cut. That'd be a heck of a piece to mill. If anybody's got a big mill, I'm going to cut it to get it down. You're not going to be able to split that up, or I can leave it up in the air. Well, it's going to come down when I cut that one. So that's the next tricky one, is to get that one cut. So I think I'm just going to start off nice and low down here. What the deal is with this, if you look at it, there's a maple stump right there. It's kind of holding it from rolling, but it's stuck down there. So what we're gonna do here, first thing, is we're gonna get that maple, which I don't think is holding much, cut out of there. We'll cut that first. I'm probably gonna have to go back and sharpen the saw. Still cutting pretty decent, but like I say, I don't like to get it super dull unnecessarily. I waited too long. There. Yep. All that weight of that tree just pinched on it. And I was trying to avoid that, but it snuck up on me. If I can get the blade to turn, there we go. I got lucky. I got real lucky. So let's get this thing down a little bit. So that's broke loose. I'm going to show you what we're dealing with here. So you got to be really careful here. All that weight up there is pushing straight down here on that. That little stump right there is kind of holding it. So you know, when I cut that off, the whole thing's going to want to go like that. So it's also going to want to try to split it. All right, we'll start cutting this section. This section's actually up in the air, so the whole thing's going to roll, but I don't think I have enough gas to get all the way through it, so we'll just start cutting it and be careful with it, because it's going to say it's going to want to roll this way. I got plenty of room to step back, so like I said, I probably, even if I had enough gas, I won't cut all the way through it yet. We'll get it cut pretty good. I'll get a few logs out of the way, and I can shove a couple logs up under this section right here to hold it up so it doesn't roll so far. Yeah, I'd say we don't have enough fuel. That was it. So that's okay. It probably is a blessing. It's probably telling me not to cut this yet because I don't have, blow you guys off, I don't have anything under there, and it's gonna roll. And then this section right here, I should cut that off first. So let me regroup. I'm gonna get a couple of these logs down off the hill here, and we'll come back after I fuel up, sharpen the saw a little bit. The chains got kind of loose, and we'll finish nipping that off. We'll cut this one first. I'll get this out of my way. See, right now, if I had to run, I would be tripping over a bunch of this stuff. So I always safety first. So I'll leave myself a path further away than I think I need to go. And yeah, I can't run too far with that much weight. You don't even want to joke around. So let me get this situation under control. All right, fresh battery. We're on a roll again. I got some of the other pieces down out of here. I'm gonna stand on this side and cut this. That whole thing wants to fall down. Hopefully you guys can see we got gas and fresh new sharp chain. It runs good, man. Now that I got it tuned up, I'm good. I sharpened her. I took down some of the guides a little bit. You can really hear it digging in. So my thoughts are on this other piece here, instead of standing on the back side, I'm going to see if I can come in on this side here and cut it. The problem is I can't quite get as close as I was because of the motor part, but we'll make it work. Turn it on and help. Now I think I left enough on that side. I can come finish up the cut on this side, and I'm not on it in that area where it's going to roll over. I'll have to come in on an angle, but better be safe than sorry. Going to drop down yet. may actually be loose just sitting on itself. So to be careful and set the saw over here out of the way, I'm going to push on it a little bit. As I say, the whole thing wants to fall that way. So let's just push on it and see if I can snap off what's left in there. I don't have a stand, so I'm being creative and putting you guys anywhere I can. And not trip over logs here. Think it'd roll that whole daggone thing, but that works real good. Now I can finish the cut. It should stay against that tree, and I wanted to open my path up anyway, so that tells me if it'll shove that over, I should be able to get up and around. Whoa, what happened here? Y'all got leafed. You got leafed. Hopefully I can finish that cut. That bad boy don't want to come back. Oh, this way. Find out. But I want to break it up a little bit so I can move it around. I'll put you right there. Cut into it. That's a big one! Woo! That's a big old tree, buddy. That's a big one. It's all rotted in the center. I still could have cut through it, even if it was solid. But even if I cut from each side, as far as firewood goes, it actually have quite a bit. Like I say, this is my trail here, kind of beside the tree. So I want to be able to get it cleaned out here and get at least the big section. If I don't split it up into firewood, I at least want to get it off the trail. I'll give it a good shove and it might go down to the bottom and I can deal with it down there. Or take out some trees along the way. You never know. So yeah, she's eating. Saw's doing really good. I'm definitely happy with the husky, and we won't talk about the seal. So we just won't talk about it. Let me see. My problem is I'm afraid that it's going to roll over that hill there. So I might slap the chain around it. If I get the forks behind it, if I can push it back this way and I can bring the end around, I can get underneath it. I guess time will tell. Let me see if I can get it figured out here real quick. Well, we got her. Let's see what gear I'm in. I'm going to go backwards down the hill. Go backwards down the hill. Second gear low. Make sure I got control over it. Got to watch that log too. Don't want to ever get in a position where that's so high that it can roll off the forks. Come back and get you. Because that stupid muffler ain't going to stop it. Somewhere out here I lost my felon dog to the steel. I had him on there with Loctite and it still came off. So I don't know what happened there. That's a heavy section of log. Matter of fact, that's more solid than the hill's on a slight angle. The lower dropper down in the first gear. So a slight angle, see I'm like tilted. So what happens is it wants to try to fall off the fork. So the premise is to keep the thing as level as possible and the weight back on the back of the forks so that it doesn't slide. You start going left and right, you got to kind of turn into the hill, or I guess it would be away from the hill like this as I go down. But I got a couple low spots here where it's going to want to dip the front the wrong way. If I don't be careful, it'll fall in there. That's where the log will end up. So see, I was trying to fall down there. Uh-oh. Stay, baby, stay. I won't want it too high in the air. I want to keep it as low as possible on the tractor. No reason to be in a hurry. That's how accidents happen. People get hurt. We'll just take it nice and slow, and I don't want to tear up the tractor either. So we're going to get this thing out. Now I can mill that if I stand it up and reduce it down. It won't have a live edge crotch section on it, but it'll have a nice crotch section in it. With a straight sections on the side. Hopefully doesn't want to go backwards up the hill a little bit. So let me get it on back to the log yard. We'll get back up there, see if we can't move that big section around, at least out of the trail. I might even see if that big old crotch will go rolling down the hill and end up at the bottom so I don't have to carry it down there. We'll find out, I guess. Out of here. Yep. Gotta reattach it to the next one. Woo! Now I'm just kind of pulling the little pieces out. I did manage to get, I got that rolled up against a safety stump. That's a gum, that'll last forever. Got the other piece over there. And I got my trail opened up, so we got a really nice trail coming through here. Now I'm just kind of pulling out the bigger tops just to get down to the bottom. All this small stuff I'll come up with a bucket, cut it up and throw it in the bucket and then take it back and split it. Seems like a logical idea. I need 2 hands. Sometimes you gotta pull that cord pretty hard. It's not a hydraulic, so. Yep, there's one more. Whoa, the tractor brake didn't hold. What on earth? Come on, brake. Well, my brake didn't hold. Once I dug the back in, thing almost come down. Oh, the log stopped it. The log back here stopped it. I'll let go, quit pulling.
I don't know what happened to the brake. That log isn't in there too good. It's gonna take two hands. I got full wedged up underneath that other one. It'll come out, but I gotta take two hands. Yeah, I got these up here. There's still a couple bigger sections, but a lot of this I come up and just cut it, throw it in the bucket, bring it back to the house and split it. Some of the big pieces, I'll just bring the splitting wedge with me. And it's red oak, so I mean it's pretty easy to split. Maybe I'll have to split them in half up here and then load them in the bucket. But I might be able to get kind of an indication of how old this is. So I'm going to sit here, and I'm not going to make you guys sit here the whole time while I count. And I'm going to do my best to count because I got a good indication. It's not all the way on the stump, but I think it's good enough. So let me do some counting the best I can and kind of figure out how old this tree is. I was thinking it was older than it was, but looking at the annual growth rings, they're pretty big. So let me do some counting and I'll bring you back. And I wound the cable out really far because it gets pinched up a lot when you're pulling under a lot of stress right here. So every once in a while you got to pull it way out and then roll it up, pull it in without no pressure on it, so that you're not fighting it trying to get it out of there. So let me get to counting. All right, let me start this up and we'll start winding that cord in. But I counted the rings as best as I could. It's going to self-roll itself up. I got around 100 years old, so not as big as I thought. I gotta know red oaks grow pretty fast, so it's somewhere around 100-year-old tree. Still pretty old tree, just not as old as I thought it was. I guess if it was a white oak, they grow a lot slower, so that might be the case. But you can see that sucker, she was rotted out. I got the majority of the large logs. I'm just going to skid those few logs out. I'll work on that over the next few months, maybe when the ground's frozen. It's just been so nice and dry, and coming up that big hill, I didn't want to tear it all up. So I think we got rain on Thursday or so I may come back up in the evenings a couple days and try to skid out some more of the tops. And I'm just staging them down there by the rental place right there. There's a road that goes around, so good place for it. Get it out of here at least. And all the small stuff, like I said, I can just come up even with the Kubota and just cut stuff and put it in the back and then dump it out where I want to split it. So there's that big tree. I think we put a pretty good hurting on it. That big section says just sit right there and rot, and that's where it'll live the rest of its life. The Oak Ridge. I actually have a stand right over there. That's one of my nice stands with a comfy seat. Some water bars in, because this is why I kind of want to get it done now, the majority of it, because the leaves are still falling and they'll fall on the trail. But I put a couple water bars in just to be careful. That will act like a water bar there. I left some brush there, so that should keep it stable in here until I can come back in here. The leaves will be on it, and a lot of that I won't be dragging out or anything. So yep, there's what's left of the main trunk of it, and there she is eating all up. Yep.